Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Papa This D, about to react to this video by Kareem. This is Lisa Left Eye Lopes knew she was going to die. The mysteriously beautiful short life of Left Eye. Oh, damn. I don't know much about Left Eye at all, so yeah, we're gonna see what was going on and how did she know she was gonna pass. Let's watch.
Hey friend, welcome to my channel Kareen Alud, where we talk about everything, and I'm Kareen Alud. If you're not yet part of the Friendship Circle, please be sure to like, subscribe, and join the Friendship Circle. If you're already part of the Friendship Circle, please be sure to turn on your notification bell so you can always know when I post a new upload. Now let's get into today's video. Today we are talking about Lisa Left Eye Lopes, and yes, though this is a tragic story, it's also very heartwarming. Lisa Nicole Lopes, better known by her stage name Left Eye, was an American rapper and singer. She was a member of the R&B girl group TLC alongside Tion, T-Vaz, Watkins, and Rosanda Chili Thomas. Besides rapping and singing backing vocals on TLC recordings, Lopes was one of the creative forces behind the group, receiving more co-writing credits than any other member. She also designed the outfits and staging for the group and contributed to the group's image, album titles, artworks, and music videos. Through her work with TLC, Lopes won 4 Grammy Awards. During her brief solo career, Lopes scored 2 U.S. top 10 singles with Not Tonight and You Know What's Up, as well as 1 UK #1 single with Never Be the Same Again. The latter a collaboration with Melanie C of the British girl group Spice Girls. Lopes remains the only member of TLC to have released a solo album. On April 25, 2002, Lopes was killed in a car crash while organizing charity work in Honduras. She swerved off the road to avoid hitting another vehicle and was thrown from her car. She was working on a documentary at the time of her death, which was released as The Last Days of Left Eye and aired on VH1 in May 2007. We all know the story, but not many in this generation know who Lisa the person was and how she was more than just a tragic tale. I know when people die young in the industry, they become immortalized without us really knowing much of them. And today's video will humanize her as well as get into the many mysteries of her death in the industry that goes beyond just another tragic tale of a young, beautiful starlet full of potential gone too soon. Before we get into her childhood and the meat of this video, let's do a couple fun facts. Among her many talents, did you know she was also a pianist and keyboardist? She also played the clarinet. Her hobbies included sculpting and painting, as well as designing clothes and illustrations. Her favorite color was purple, and in terms of her diet, she lived a pretty holistic life, following the teachings of Dr. Sebi. Lisa Lopes spoke about the benefits of doing a 10-day cleanse using Dr. Sebi's herbal products. Lopes had the weight of the world on her shoulders, and she felt the only way she would regain control of her life was to cleanse. She decided to do a 10-day cleanse because she needed it to cleanse her body, mind, and emotions. Lopes consumed fresh juice, water, sea moss, fruits, and vegetables. After only 10 days, Lopes' energy increased, and she only needed 4 hours of sleep a night to cope with her hectic life. Along with her increased energy, she also claimed that she experienced heightened intuition. She was able to focus more on herself internally and pay attention to things that she often overlooked. Lopes became more in tune with herself as well as her surroundings. She had no desire to eat the unhealthy foods she previously ate at the end of her 10-day cleanse. She became vegan. Lopes also explained that she was an alcoholic, and she credits Dr. Sebi of curing her of alcoholism. All of this is also important because Honduras was where Dr. Sebi was said to be based, so she was there for like another spiritual cleanse type of journey before her death. So it just shows you how her holistic lifestyle really did just play a major role in her life. Now let's get into her childhood. Lopes was born in 1971 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the daughter of Wanda Denise, a seamstress, and Ronald Lopes Sr., a U.S. Army Staff Sergeant. Lisa had a younger brother, Ronald Jr., and a younger sister, Reina Anitra, nicknamed Raindrop. Lisa's ethnicity was Native American, Mexican, and Cape Verdean. Lopes said her father was very strict, very domineering, and that he treated the family like they were in boot camp. He was also a talented musician who played the harmonica, clarinet, piano, and saxophone. When we lived with my dad, he was a drill sergeant for real. When he would come home, I don't care if it was 3 in the morning. If it was something that wasn't right, he'd wake us up. We would jump out of the bed and we would run downstairs and we would line up like soldiers. Whenever I did bad in school, I got the heavy duty punishment. No TV, no radio, no front porch, no backyard, no boyfriends, no nothing. You sit in your room and think. Lopes also says he was also abusive to her mother. Additionally, Lopes noted in the film that her father, himself a heavy drinker, encouraged her drinking at a young age in spite of his otherwise strict demeanor. Lopes' parents separated when she was still in school, and her paternal grandmother raised her during the later years of her childhood. She began playing with a toy keyboard at 5 years old and later composed her own songs. By age 10, she formed the musical trio The Lopes Kids with her siblings, with whom she sang gospel songs at local events and churches. She attended the Philadelphia High School for Girls. In late 1990, having heard of an open casting call for a new girl group through her then-boyfriend, Lopes moved to Atlanta to audition. Originally starting a female trio called Second Nature, the group was renamed TLC, derived from the first initials of its members at the time, Tion Watkins, Lisa Lopes, and Crystal Jones. Things did not work out with Jones, and TLC's manager Perry Pebbles, Reed, brought in Damien Dame backup dancer Rosanda Thomas as a third member of the group. To preserve the band's original name, Thomas needed a name starting with C, which is how she became Chili, a name chosen by Lopez. Watkins became T-Boz, derived from the first letter of her first name, and Boz, slang for boss. Lopez was renamed Left Eye after a compliment from New Edition member Michael Bivins, who once told her he was attracted to her because of her left eye, which was more slanted than the right eye. Lopez emphasized her nickname by wearing a pair of glasses with the right lens covered by a condom, and keeping with the group's support of safe intercourse, wearing a black stripe under her left eye, and eventually getting her left bra pierced. The group arrived on the music scene in 1992 with the album Ooh on the TLC tip, with 4 hit singles. It sold 6 million copies worldwide, leading to the group becoming a household name. Shortly afterwards, Lopez began dating Atlanta Falcons football player Andre Rison, and the two soon moved in together in Rison's upscale double-story home. Their relationship was allegedly filled with violent moments, and Lopez filed an assault charge against Rison on September 2, 1993. Rison denied battering her. Lopez was also battling alcoholism at the time, having been a heavy drinker since the age of 15. After another fight between the couple in the early morning hours of June 9, 1994, Lopez tossed numerous pairs of Rison's newly purchased shoes into a bathtub, and she set them on fire. Lopez and Rison had a fight previously because she caught Rison in bed with another woman. Lopez then threw numerous teddy bears Rison had brought her into the tub, doused them with gasoline also, and lit them on fire. Rison then had to replace the fiberglass tub with a marble one, which melted when she set the shoes on fire and caused the house to go up in flames as well. Lopez was arrested and indicted on charges of first-degree arson. She was sentenced to 5 years of probation and a $10,000 fine. Rison eventually reconciled with Lopez, and they continued dating on and off for 7 years. Lopez was often vocal about her personal life and difficult past. She openly stated that she came from, a very tumultuous background and alcoholic background also, and struggled with alcoholism herself. These issues became headline news in 1994 when she was arrested. She claimed that Rison had beaten her after a night out, and she set fire to his shoes to get back at him, but that burning down the house was an accident. Lopez later revealed that she did not have a lot of freedom with the relationship, and that Rison physically harmed her and emotionally harmed her as well. She said that she released her frustration about the relationship on the night of the fire. Lopez was sentenced to 5 years probation, as we know, and therapy at a halfway house, and was unable to shake the incident from her reputation. Lopez revealed on the last days of Left Eye documentary that her meeting with a struggling mother in rehab left a big impression on her. She subsequently adopted the woman's 8-year-old daughter. She had adopted a 12-year-old boy 10 years prior. Shortly after, Crazy Sexy Cool was released, selling over 23 million copies worldwide. However, Lopez's stint in rehab had led to her only having limited input in the writing and recording of the album. After the release of Crazy Sexy Cool, Lopez was a featured artist for the first time on How Do You Like It, a song by Keith Sweat in 1994. Later in 1995, Lopez recorded a well-received verse to the rap version of Freedom of the soundtrack from the Black Panther-based docudrama Panther. Lopez had several tattoos. Most prominent was a large eagle on her left arm, which she said represented freedom. Later, she added the number 80 around the eagle, which was Rison's NFL number while in Atlanta. She also had a tattoo of a moon with a face on her foot in reference to Rison's nickname, Bad Moon. Lopez later added the words, Love You Too, in the musical notes on her foot for Tupac Shakur. On her upper right arm was a large tattoo of the name Perron for her late stepbrother who died in a boating accident, arcing over a large tattoo of a pierced heart. Her smallest tattoo was on her left earlobe and consisted of an arrow pointing to her left over the symbol of an eye, a reference to her nickname. Lopez struggled with self-harm and even carved the words hate and love into her arms with a razor. In 1997, Lopez was featured on the remix to Lil' Kim's Not Tonight alongside Missy Elliott, Angie Martinez, and The Brat. The single earned all artists a nomination for Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group at the 1998 Grammys Award. TLC's third album, Fin Now, was released in 1999 and sold over 14 million copies worldwide. The album's title was a tribute to TLC's loyal fans, and the sleeve contained the names of hundreds of them as a thank you. During and after the release of Fin Now, Lopez made it known to the press on multiple occasions that she felt that she was unable to express herself in TLC fully. Her contributions to songs had been reduced to periodic 8-bar raps, and there were several songs in which she had no vocals. Studio session singers such as Deborah Killing often sing background vocals for the group's songs, something Lopez also wanted to do on songs in which she did not rap. In the May 1999 issue of Vibe magazine, Lopez said, I've graduated from this era. I cannot stand 100% behind this TLC project and the music that is supposed to represent me. In response to Lopez's comments, Chili and T-Boz stated to Entertainment Weekly that Lopez doesn't respect the whole group and Left Eye is only concerned with Left Eye. In response, Lopez sent a reply through Entertainment Weekly issuing a challenge to Chili and T-Boz to release solo albums and let the public decide who is the greatest member of TLC. She said, I challenged Dionne Watkins, T-Boz, and Rosanda Thomas, Chili, to an album entitled The Challenge, a 3-CD set that contains 3 solo albums. Each album will be due to the record label by October 1st, 2000. I also challenged Dallas, the manipulator, Austin, to produce all of the material and do it at a fraction of his normal rate. As I think about it, I'm sure LaFace would not mind throwing in a $1.5 million prize for the winner. Watkins and Thomas declined to take up the challenge, though Lopez always maintained it was a great idea. Things were heated between the ladies for some time, with Chili speaking out against Lopez, calling her antics selfish, evil, and heartless. TLC then addressed these struggles by saying that they are very much like sisters who have their disagreements. Every now and then, as Lopez explained, it's deeper than a working relationship. We have feelings for each other, which is why we get so mad at each other. I usually say that you cannot hate someone unless you love them, so we love each other. That's the problem. I can't even imagine how far she would have been if she lived a little longer. Lopez created Left Eye Productions to discover new talent. She mentored the R&B trio, Black, and helped them secure a record deal with Columbia Records. Their self-titled debut album was executive produced by Lopez, which also made a cameo appearance in the music video 808, and also rapped in their second music video, I Do. Lopez was also developing and promoting another new band called Egypt. They worked with Lopez on her second album under her new nickname, Nina, meaning new identity, not applicable. In 2000, Lopez became a featured rapper on several singles, including Spice Girls' Melanie C's Never Be the Same Again, which topped the charts in 35 countries, including the United Kingdom. She was also featured on You Know What's Up, the first single from Donnell Jones' second album, Where I Wanna Be. She rapped a verse in Space Cowboys with NSYNC on their 2000 album. She also collaborated on Give Me Some by Toni Braxton for her 2000 album, The Heat. She had previously featured on Keith Sweat's song How Do You Like It in 2001. She appeared in a commercial for the fashion brand Gap. In July 2001, Lopez appeared on the Singer's edition of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire along with Joey McIntyre, Tyrese, Nick Lachey, and Leanne Womack. In 2008, Lopez's family opened UNI Studios, which she had created for the purpose of recording solo projects to the public. Her brother Ronald is the general manager of the studio. Lopez had a dream of making new artists able to record music at a low cost in a high-end studio at her house. Her family continues to operate it and fill it with new equipment. Roughly 2 weeks before her own death, Lopez was a passenger in a traffic accident that resulted in the death of a 10-year-old Honduran boy. As reported in Philadelphia Weekly, it is commonplace for people to walk the roads that went through Honduras, and it's often difficult to see pedestrians. The boy was following behind his brothers and sisters when he stepped off the median strip and was struck by a van driven by Stephanie Lopez, who was Lisa's personal assistant. Lopez's party stopped and loaded the boy into the car, and Left Eye cradled the dying boy's bleeding head in her arm, while someone gave him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation as they rushed him to a nearby hospital. He died the next day, and Lisa paid approximately $3,700 for his medical expenses and funeral, and she gave the family around $925 for any extra costs, although it was apparently agreed upon by the authorities and the boy's family that his death was an unforeseeable tragedy, and no blame was placed on the driver of the van or the Lopez. Earlier in the documentary, Lopez mentioned that she felt the presence of a spirit following her and was struck by the fact that the child killed in the accident shared a similar last name, even thinking that the spirit may have made a mistake by taking his life instead of hers. How chilling, right? On April 25, 2002, Lopez was driving a rented Mitsubishi in La Ceiba, Honduras, when she swerved to avoid a truck, then sharply to the left as she tried to avoid an oncoming car. The vehicle rolled several times after hitting 2 trees, throwing Lopez and 3 others out of the window, and finally coming to rest in a ditch at the side of the road. Lopez, at the age of 30, died instantly, a fracture of the base of the cranium and open cerebral trauma, and was the only person fatally injured in the accident. The accident was recorded on video from inside the vehicle because a documentary film was in progress. Lopez's funeral was held at New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Lithonia, Georgia, on May 2, 2002. Thousands of people attended. Engraved upon her casket were the lyrics to her portion of Waterfalls, stating, "Dreams are hopeless aspirations and hopes of coming true. Believe in yourself, the rest is up to me and you." Lopez was buried at Hillendale Memorial Gardens in Lithonia. In a statement to MTV, producer Jermaine Dupri remembered Lopez, saying, "She was determined to be something in life. She was a true rock star. She didn't care about no press. She was the rock star out of the group. She was the one that was cursed on TV. She had the tattoos. You could expect the unexpected. When you see Lisa, you could expect something from her. That's the gift she carried." Chili also told Essence magazine, "People didn't understand how much of a heart she really had and how passionate and giving she was. She might have come across as someone who wanted to start trouble all the time, but that wasn't it. She just had a lot to say. Sometimes when you speak what's on your mind, I'm talking everything on your mind, people can get a misconception of you. So because she spoke her mind all of the time, it caused people to misjudge her." T-Boz, who had sickle cell disease, once received a thoughtful gift from Lopez when she was in the hospital. T-Boz talked about it with Essence magazine on the 10th anniversary of Lopez's passing, saying, "She was very creative too. I remember I was in the hospital for 4 months and she sent me a clock that she made, and the clock read, 'Take all the time you need.' She really put thought into things." And you guys know that T-Boz's birthday is the day after Lopez died. So imagine every year, the day before your birthday, you have to relive the death of one of your closest friends.
That's so sad.
I couldn't even imagine. Lopez was in the process of setting up 2 educational centers for Honduran children. One was built on an 80-acre plot of land she called Camp Yak. The other center was called Creative Castle. In 2003, shortly after Lopez's death, her family started the Lisa Lopez Foundation, a charitable group dedicated to providing neglected and abandoned youth with the resources necessary to increase their quality of life. Her spiritual motto was the one used for her foundation: "Energy never dies, it just transforms." Her foundation went into various underdeveloped villages and gave new clothes to poor children and their families. In August 2007, the foundation hosted a charity auction selling items donated by celebrities. It raised approximately $5,000 for the Hogar de Amor, Home of Love, an orphanage in Honduras. In 2012, the foundation began hosting an annual music festival known as Left Eye Music Fest in Decatur, Georgia. A documentary showing the final 27 days of Lopez's life, titled The Last Days of Left Eye, premiered at the Atlanta Film Festival in April 2007 for an audience that included many of Lopez's contemporaries, including Monica, Ronna DeVoe, 112, Big Boy, NDRE, and CeeLo Green. VH1 and VH1 Soul broadcast a documentary on May 19, 2007. Most of the footage was shot with a handheld camera, often in the form of diary entries filmed by Lopez while on a 30-day spiritual retreat in Honduras with her sister Raindrop, brother Ronald, and members of the R&B group Egypt. In these entries, she reflected on her personal life and career. A calmer side of her personality was on display, showing interest in numerology and yoga. Lopez spent much of her free time after the conclusion of TLC's first headlining tour, the Fan Mail Tour, recording her debut solo album, Supernova. It includes a song titled A New Star Is Born, which is dedicated to her late father, she told MTV News. The track is dedicated to all those that have loved ones that have passed away. It's saying that there is no such thing as death. We can call it transforming for a lack of better words, but as scientists would say, every atom that was once a star is now in you. It is your body. So in the song, I pretty much go along with that idea. I don't care what happens or what people think about death. It doesn't matter. We all share the same space. May she continue to rest in peace.
Oh, wow. This was really interesting. I didn't know much about her. Of course, I know about TLC, but her personally, you know, the only thing that I could think of was that she burned down a boyfriend's house. And like she said in the video, that, you know, continued to haunt her, and that's what people knew her for. Unfortunately, it's like super negative, but I'm glad that she went over the more positive things about her and went into details about who she was as a person. That's really creepy that she kind of, you know, predicted her death. She's like, oh, I feel like that crash was supposed to kill me, not this little boy. Like, that's wild. But also, you know, people talk about speaking shit into existence. That's also a thing. I am a big believer in that as well. So you have to be very careful about things that you say. R.I.P. to her, though. Y'all let me know what y'all thought. Let me know what other videos you want me to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.